Dansei Kendallpotskin Nitsigasun, and today we're going to be talking about energy hygiene. So, when you know you're the seventh generation that needs to heal things, it's gonna feel like the world is constantly against you. You're healing the mental, emotional, and spiritual warfare that has been left behind from colonization and genocide. So now that we've decided we aren't going anywhere, that we're gonna do the thing and we're gonna heal for the next generation, we need to have an energy hygiene toolkit. You don't have to copy anyone else's. Mine isn't going to be the same as yours. You know, everybody's medicine is different. At the end of the day, what we're going to be doing is receiving our energy from Creator. That can be dancing, that can be singing, it can be drumming, it can be ceremony. You know, for some people it might be church, right? And I have no issue with either spirituality or church. I grew up thinking and understanding that both were sacred. You know, there's always going to be rotten eggs in each side of the spectrum. When we connect with Source, doing the things that clean our spirit, and what I mean by cleaning our spirit is that I was taught that as we grow older from childhood, we collect mud on our spirit. So different things can bring that mud onto your spirit. It can be trauma, it can be, you know, experiences that we did that we shouldn't have done. And then we feel that guilt for it. You know, I think there's a lot of different ways that we can clean and clear that mud off of our spirit and make it a little bit easier for us to function in this path that we're on. So for me, my thing that I do that really connects me to Creator is jigging. And I'm a fourth generation Métis traditional dancer, and I could be depressed on a day I'm supposed to jig. I don't even want to jig, and I just go there and do it. And after I dance, I feel so much better. I feel like, okay, you know, maybe I am gonna have a good day today. Maybe, you know, I needed that. I've definitely felt that presence in church as well as in ceremony, and I've also felt it in silence. You know, if you do feel super isolated and doing the inner work is very hard, I strongly suggest you visit with a person that gives you the most comfort. And, you know, just being around them, getting grounded and clearing. You know, if you need a body double to help you clear, then that's good to know. Write that down, okay? And what happens to my energy when I go too long without connecting? I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I think too much. Like I feel lost. I feel like I don't know which way to go. The wind is pulling me in different directions, all that stuff. Audit your inner dialogue. So which thoughts are truly yours and which are the echoes of harm or fear passed down? With this, in my personal healing, when I got pregnant, I knew I had to heal for my son. And what I really had to heal was masculine energy in my family. It is very much in need of healing, and I had to think about, you know, what the people in my family went through to be how they are, and kind of forgive that within myself, forgive them to myself, and just, let that belong to them. It doesn't belong to me anymore. I understand where you're coming from, but that's not mine to carry. How do I recognize when my mind is under spiritual or emotional attack? For me, I feel thoughts that are mine. I feel super negative thoughts that don't belong to me, and I just kind of have to let them pass by. And I also get like random things happen with my body. So I got this blister, but there was a little sac beside it, like right here. You can't see it, but it was super white, and I pushed on it and a lot of liquid came out, and I'm like, where did that come from? So like random things start happening with my body. I still feel protected, so don't worry. What helps me release thoughts that aren't aligned with my truth? Sometimes it's hard, especially if someone is attacking you, like spiritually, like just super hard. I just pray, and I reimagine what my future is gonna look like, and if those thoughts belong to the future me that lives in that house, drives that car, has that career. Next, we're going to redefine survival in our own way. Because as I said, during my healing journey after like being pregnant, I had to think of, what is life about? Why am I here? And, at the end of the day, it came down to survival. I thought about it and I thought, all of this is about survival, and that's how our people lived, was through survival. And so everything that we are is due to thousands and thousands of years of survival. So having children is a part of survival and keeping the bloodline going. And so I want you to redefine survival in your own way, because to me, I thought, okay, a lot of the trauma that we've faced was, this is how my dad survived, this is how my mom survived, this is how my grandparents survived, and it's not the way I'm going to survive anymore. I started putting up boundaries with certain things and people, and just totally respecting myself and my journey, especially my son. Okay. When I'm grounded in my faith or ceremony, what happens to fear, jealousy, and scarcity? I feel truly abundant. I feel like I can conquer the world. I don't feel jealous. I'm like, that's my brother, that's my sister, I'm proud of them. Or fear, I feel like, at the end of the day, it's not gonna impact me in the same way that it's going to impact that person that's kind of bringing the fear to me. So how do I stay humble and protected in that connection? I think by understanding that we are more kinship aligned with the world, I think, being humble and taking care of folks like they're your brother or sister or cousin or whatever, it really does make a stronger connection with Creator. Because honestly, I've gone across Canada, I've met people in different areas, and I've connected with them like kin, and I've thought to myself, how amazing is it to be Indigenous? To connect with anyone like they're your auntie or uncle, and just to have that like spiritual connection as kin. Like, I think that's amazing. And what stories remind me that no weapon formed against me shall prosper? Um, for myself, I think of the many times that I was tested, even through childhood. Like, I've been tested. That, you know, anyone can try to harm you spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna surpass that. To me, especially after my pregnancy, I was very much depressed, but what got me going was the thought that I'm not gonna be like just any, you know, I'm not gonna be struggling. It sounds weird, but I'm not going to be chasing, my son's dad down for anything. I'm not gonna be, you know, a bitter baby mama. I'm going to have the life that I want to live, and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be, someone that makes my son proud. And so I've always tried to do that. I've always tried to stay on that path. And for how long I've been working, my son is 5 now, I'm still doing that. So I know that no weapon formed against me will prosper. And then finally, we come to creating a routine that feeds your spirit. And the questions are, what daily or weekly rhythms make me feel whole and not just productive? What does success mean to me when I measure it by peace and not pace? How do I remind myself that even in loss, I'm still winning? When I create a routine that feeds my spirit, I'm not just thinking of things that I need to do in order to succeed. I'm thinking, how can I do this and make it feel like I'm on the right path? So for me, I always need to eat breakfast. I think spending some time in the morning to do gratitude or envision your future is very helpful. And I think also like ensuring that you are making time for yourself is very, very, it helps you feel whole and not just productive, right? What does success mean to me when I measure it by peace and not pace? I think success feels so much more comforting. How do I remind myself that even in loss, I'm still winning? I keep that vision of my future and exactly what I said before. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Does this person, struggle with these things still? And what are they doing to get over it?